Irish guy, and no, you're not hallucinating. Don't worry, that chicken kebab you had last night wasn't poisoned with glue. You also don't need to book in an eye test at a sweaty optician's, because you have read this title right. Right now, on a bleak March morning, where I look outside and see pigeons helping themselves to catsick on the lawn, apparently Steven Gerrard is candidate to be the next PSG boss. There are some stories in the newspaper which, sure, they make your brain feel like it's gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, or if you just spent the afternoon living in a washing machine with socks stuffed up your nose. I get it, okay? When I read this story, I feel like I've just been told by my mom that she's pregnant with Santa Claus's kids. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. It's a bit like being told that you've got a secret twin who works overseas cleaning toilets for a Senegalese prince. Your brain is not prepared to soak in such information. So honestly, when you look at this video, I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're not listening to this while standing up on a bus, or you'll probably be in danger of vomiting into an old woman's face. But yeah, let's say it slowly. PSG wants Stevie G as manager.
Steven Gerrard receives backing to become PSG manager after Aston Villa sacking.
Okay, let's look at this normally. Gerrard just lost his job at Aston Villa and has since been linked with taking the Poland job. And now PSG. Clearly the football world is confused, because yes, this man is one of the most iconic figures in modern football, a true legend of the sport, but he's also a Villa Park flop. He was exposed. He was embarrassed. He might as well have turned up for post-match interviews on Match of the Day whilst wearing a cow onesie and with lipstick smeared all over his teeth, because 2 wins in 12 league games this season was absolute garbage muck, and yet you wanted to go and manage PSG? The guy doesn't even speak French. I'm sorry, but nobody ever goes from the Aston Villa sack to Paris Saint-Germain, or even a Champions League club. How unfair is that? It'd be like Jake Paul getting beat up by Tommy Fury and now gets a glamour fight with Conor McGregor. Just no! It's not fair. Lads, of the last bunch of managers to leave Aston Villa, here were their immediate next clubs: Norwich City, Sheffield Wednesday, Montreal Impact, Blackburn Rovers, Nottingham Forest, Sunderland, Al Ahly, Derby County, Stoke and Coventry. And there were 4 managers in there who never worked again. Clearly European giants look at Aston Villa cast-offs as if they're soggy beef burgers found in a McDonald's bin. I mean, beef burgers covered in ketchup, grease and moldy squirrel piss. Honestly, you won't see a superstar like Jennifer Lopez trying to find clothes in Susan Boyle's bin. Yes, I realise right now, PSG have Christophe Gaultier at the wheel. I mean, yeah, he sounds like he should be a French poet, but no, he's just some guy who didn't have much of a playing career. He's just some shoddy journeyman right back, and even as a manager, he just flitted around Saint-Etienne, Lille and Nice. Yeah, that makes someone like Claudio Ranieri look like he's got a Hollywood CV. I mean, to be fair, he has coached Napoli, Valencia, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Juventus, Roma and Inter Milan. But I mean, would you give him the PSG job? I think Nasser Al-Khelaifi would sooner impregnate his mum. I mean, Christophe Gaultier is a man who used to be assistant coach at Portsmouth, just making the tea for Bajani, Andy O'Brien and Gary O'Neill. You know, the current Bournemouth coach? Do you really think this fella, a nearly 60-year-old man with the charisma of a half-eaten omelette, does anyone really think that this guy commands respect in this superstar PSG dressing room? No, it's probably a bit like if you make Dan Walker coach at Soccer Aid. You know that BBC presenter recently fell off his bike? Yeah, try and get this weedy bookworm to tell Yaya Toure and Cafu what to do, and his voice would shake like a leaf. A bit like a Dungeons and Dragons nerd trying to talk to a human girl. And similarly, I always thought this was a weird appointment. Looking at his credentials, this is a guy who could realistically have got the PSG job before the money came in. This is a man they could have appointed when they were poor. Just an unspectacular league unlevel coach who looks a bit like if you drove a truck over George Clooney's face. You might think I'm being mean, but lads, this PSG board, these were the immediate previous jobs of the 5 coaches they've appointed. They went out and hired the Chelsea manager, then the manager of France, then it was the boss of Sevilla, then the coach of Borussia Dortmund, and finally the former boss of Tottenham. I realise those profiles don't sound like they were blockbuster managers, but they were. Carlo Ancelotti, Laurent Blanc, Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel and Mauricio Pochettino. Gaultier, by comparison, is just a bit... ugh. He's a guy who'd only ever managed in the Champions League for 1 season in his life. He lost 5 out of 6 games as Lille boss, getting absolutely tactically picked apart by Eric Ten Hag, Frank Lampard, and the Valencia interim coach. So is it any surprise that at PSG, he's finished 2nd in the group and is about to crash out the Bayern Munich in the last 16? This is not a superstar coach. He's just football's answer to a month-old pancake you found on the back of the couch. And clearly there's skeletons in the closet, and not in a Jeffrey Dahmer drama way. Now, the Nice director of football said that if the reasons for their fallout were revealed, Gaultier would no longer be allowed in the locker room. It sounds a bit like my PE teacher. When everyone realized he stored photos of our showers on his phone, he used to always tell me I had nice armpits. Christ, I hope it wasn't his screensaver. But according to the Nice director, it sounds like Gaultier's character is essentially mud. But weirdly, this is a man who actually rejected the chance to join Aston Villa in 2015. I mean, that same year, Newcastle were sniffing around him too. Both clubs also wanted Remy Gard that year. That season, both Gaultier and Gard were the two promising French coaches, sort of just lumped into the same category, in the exact same way that both Lampard and Gerrard came up together as the vibrant new English managers. Lads, Gregory Vignal, a former teammate of Gerrard, has come out and said this.
I'm pretty sure that Steven is ready to crack on again. I think he's strong enough mentally to start a new project. Why not Paris Saint-Germain? They have been talking about him. I am sure he can get a good job soon, whether that is in the Premier League or abroad.
Oh, Vignal. Weirdly, a guy who worked under Gaultier at Portsmouth too. He was just some pudding left back who currently works the backroom coach at Dundee. And before that, to be fair, like Gerrard, he was manager of Rangers too. Well, the Rangers women team. And he thinks he knows what PSG needs? This is a man who played for both Portsmouth and Southampton. So clearly he's also got the loyalty values of Grima Worm Tongue. So stop it. Stop trying to suck up to Stevie and trying to get your mate a Champions League job. I mean, if Stevie rated you that highly, he'd have brought you to Aston Villa. Honestly, Vignal, you haven't played with them since 2005. And make no mistake about it, I'm sure both he and Jamie Carragher used to say behind your back that you were just a defensive cabbage who they really wanted sold. I mean, Vignal was bought by Liverpool by Gerard Houllier, someone who'd also go on to manage Aston Villa.
Gerrard and PSG works. They need a manager the players actually look at with any respect. He needs trophies. Imagine Mbappe goes into overdrive and wins a CL. Worst case, he wins 46 trophies in 2 years and has won multiple league titles in multiple leagues. It's a smart move.
A smart move? Why? Because the players grew up watching Gerrard on the telly? Why not give Thierry Henry the job then? Probably Mbappe's childhood hero, and he was only at Barcelona 3 years before Neymar joined. Surely they all respect him, right? Oh yeah, I remember the problem now. He's as tactically sound as wet banana pie. He's a man who nearly got Monaco, Mbappe's old team, relegated to League 2. And lads, about Mbappe, this is what Gerrard said about Kylian after Real Madrid beat Liverpool in the Champions League final.
But from a football decision, I do think in his quiet moment tonight, if he has watched that game, he will think to himself, I've just turned down the chance to join a club that has won 14 European Cups, and they're going to be back because they recruit top players.
Yeah. So the PSG board are going to recruit a manager who openly thinks that their star player should have left for Real Madrid. This guy seems to think,
oh, what if Gerrard wins PSG the Champions League?
No English manager has gone past the quarter-final in this competition since Joe Fagan in 1985. Do you realize how long ago that was? The guy was playing for Manchester City in 1938. Lads, in my lifetime, I've seen two guys manage my country, Ireland, who've got 5 Champions League medals between them. Weirdly, one is a former Aston Villa coach. But yeah, Giovanni Trapattoni was a Champions League winning manager. English managers just can't do that anymore. Lads, an Irish manager has reached the Champions League semi-finals more recently than an English coach. And weirdly, he also grew up to get sacked at Villa Park. What makes anyone think that Gerrard would know how to win PSG this trophy when Ancelotti couldn't even do it? I mean, Ancelotti, Emery, Tuchel and Pochettino have coached in 19 European finals. But no Champions League win for PSG. But there is merit in the fact that maybe there are these levels of huge monster coaches who can do well at big clubs, but are pretty awful at smaller clubs. For example, I don't think that Roy Keane is a tactical bird brain who's got the management of a serial killer's mum. No, it's just his only management gigs were at Sunderland and Ipswich Town, which is like giving Novak Djokovic a tennis racket made of cheese. Yeah, see how many Wimbledons he's going to win then. I mean, weirdly, Keane, he also had a coaching gig at Aston Villa. But I think a bit like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who once rejected the Aston Villa job, in his initial start at Old Trafford, he actually did pretty well. And so similarly, if you give Keane world-class players to work with, I reckon he'd actually do well. In the same way Zinedine Zidane, he won the lot at Real Madrid, but if you gave him a job at Everton, he'd be sacked within 3 months. I mean, this is a world champion megastar. Do you really think he'll really know how to get through to Mary Gray? So maybe there is a sliver of a chance that maybe Gerrard, sure, he can't tackle with bang average players, but he might actually surprise everyone if given a Champions League ready club. I mean, he was given a big fat fish in a small pond up in Scotland, and he won the league without losing a single match. So part of me thinks, yeah, he could create the PSG Invincibles too. Maybe it's not such a nutty observation, but no, even still, what business do Gerrard and PSG even have being in the same room? They never ever crossed paths in their career. He never played against them, not even once. I mean, he played against 7 French teams in a Liverpool shirt. Not a single one with PSG. Instead, it was mostly teams like Bordeaux, Auxerre, or Toulouse. No, honestly, Gerrard as PSG manager. This Scouse warrior being unveiled in a suit at the Parc des Princes? No, this is a man who wants to work for FSG. Not PSG, but Gerrard is absolutely out in the cold in England right now. Neither Southampton or Leeds even bothered to give him a ring. If Gerrard still harbours ambitions of managing Liverpool, then a move abroad is not going to put you in their thoughts. Go down to the Championship, a league that you haven't actually visited yet. Take the reins of a team like Blackburn Rovers in the summer. What? Don't look at me like that, Stevie. They've won as many Premier Leagues as Liverpool. They're still a big club. If you can be the man to finally get the sleeping giants back into the top flight and keep them there, then your reputation will be restored. But PSG? Don't make me sick up my nose! Anyway, that's one thing. Let me know what do you think, and let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about the Gerrard to PSG links? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, review as always. I'll talk to you in a while.